Hey, this is Big Papa Pump Scott's Diner.
Yes, it is me, Gerald the Poupée.
Hey, this is Joe Gatto.
Well, hello there. It's me, Harold the Puppet.
This is Eric Young.
This is Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Ardano, and you are listening to Shootin' Poop.
The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode number 60 of Shootin Sht. We are once again here with Sean because the Premier Joey K is having an external life crisis. And what's it called? When you're going through another midlife crisis because the Phillies sucked and the Eagles are bums, but he doesn't want to admit it to himself. So he's having one of those crises. But we got Sean back with us. He's been great the past couple of weeks. We still have DDJ. We can't get rid of him. We've tried. And of course, I'm here with all of you as well. So, episode 60, DDJ, let's go.
Oh shit, I'm sorry, I hit the wrong video. My bad.
I hate you both. I fucking hate you both. I swear to God.
All right.
Fuck
All
this.
right, so-
I'm out.
You can't, man. Oh, come on.
We just started. He done walked out, DDJ.
Oh, man.
Oh, there we go. We got
Hello.
one. Hey.
I guess it's gonna be you. It's gonna be you, me, and the Mrs. Middle Finger.
Mrs. Middle Finger. Oh, he's back.
John.
I mean, we were waiting for you. It was an honest slip.
Yeah, dude. All right, now here I got the video ready to go. Here we go.
That's double J, J-E, double F, J-A, double R-E, double T. That's double J, Jeff Jarrett.
Somebody's been fucking with my computer.
That may be one of the worst hacks we have ever had in
I-
Shootin Sht history.
Like
I
Retribution, Dad.
fucking hate you both. I hate you
I'm gonna
both.
get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna figure out who's been fucking with my computer, and I will have an answer by the end of this show. I guarantee it.
What was it? All that downloaded porn finally fuck it up? Is that what's going on? Fucking asshole.
He'll figure it out, or his name isn't DENNIS.
You're killing me right now.
I fucking hate you both. I fucking hate you both.
You know I only do this because I love
Okay,
you, bro.
come on. Let's go. Fuck.
All right, Jovan, let's go, man. What are we starting off with?
It's
You know,
Sean's
you
world. We
think for
just live in
episode
it.
60, you two jackasses would come up with something a little bit more, I hate you both.
Yeah. Well, let's get to something everybody hates. Let's deal with the monster in the room. let's get on to Braun Strowman, Choo Choo Strowman, who thinks he's now apparently a 7 billion star match man with a guy who couldn't even wrestle. Dennis, tell us about the tweet.
So basically, a while back, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think he sent out this original tweet. I think he was with the WWE at the time. I think this was before he got released, correct?
Correct.
he basically sent out a tweet, and I don't know it word for word, but basically he was trashing, indie wrestling and basically saying that, they're all hacks or something like that. He basically literally pissed off the entire independent wrestling, not only the fan base, but the wrestlers themselves, and really didn't do himself any favors with this tweet where he basically mocked the star system that, that Meltzer's famous for and stuff. He talked about how his match with Omos, which for a big man match, I thought was really good. It's one of the better big man matches I've seen in a while and stuff. But he talked about how it's like, oh yeah, we got 47 stars and we didn't have to do the flips. And so basically he was just rehashing what he said, a couple of years ago, and basically literally Twitter tore him a new asshole. I mean, guys like Will Ospreay chimed in. It was just incredible.
Guys
just
that actually wrestle.
Guys that can actually wrestle.
Choo choo.
And according to Jovan and I, guys that can party and stay drunk for like 72 hours straight on the Jericho cruise, like Will Ospreay.
And wrestle like a champ while inebriated.
Yep. But it's just basically, to me, it's one of those things where it's just like, dude, you know what? It's not your thing. That's cool and stuff, but there's no need to shit on, what a lot of people do to make a living and what a lot of people are into. That would be like, Sean and I, who are diehard Chicago Bears fans, constantly harping on the Green Bay Packers, who are having just as miserable a season as we are. But the only difference is our quarterback's actually starting to play really well, where our quarterback is trending upward while their quarterback is trending downward and stuff, and
Packers really hope that shit up. I hate them.
I really hope they continue their downward trend because we have them next week or this week. And with my damn luck, they'll beat Dallas, and then I'm eating shit from Packers fans again.
Okay, so not to be mean, but I kind of hope they do beat. I kind of hope they do beat Dallas, because that way when we beat them, they're going to be riding that high thinking, okay, we got it fixed, and then we're going to go in and fucking throw 50 on them.
I think you scared them off already.
Well, like I played a Jeff
Jarrett, I was going to say, you know what?
Song.
Yeah, I was going to say, I applaud you for sticking around. Like I said, I'm going to find out by the end of the show who did that, because somebody's been fucking with my computer, and I'm pissed off.
It will not go unpunished, damn it.
It will not.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of shocked.
I think we're running the same I don't know, man. To me, that thing, I don't. The guy, I'm surprised I didn't even realize he had two opposable thumbs that he could type a Twitter out. I don't really. I'm not, dude. That we've already given that way too much time. So let's go. Let's do something else. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about Braun Strowman and his misspelled tweet. I don't care. That's just dumb shit from a big guy trying to get noticed. Come on, bro. You're walking around with a shaved head, looking like the guy from Revenge of the Nerds on steroids and skinny jeans. Let's move on.
And hard nipples. He always has hard nipples. That's always distracting.
Steroids, bro. Why. That's what that does. Yeah. If he was on Cal steroids, that's how you'd be too.
Well, okay, so this is gonna. I got a quick question.
What kills me too is he's got that nose that's about this big, and then what's he do to be subtle? He takes a big piece of steel and he sticks through it. Yeah, you're right. That's real subtle. Good job, bro.
So I got to ask you, Sean, whose hate is more in your heart right now? Is your hate for Strowman or your hate for Jarrett bigger?
I don't know. Right now, my hate for you is getting pretty high up there. You keep fucking with me. It's
let's move on to happier things, guys. Let's control our narrative like Strowman and move to something better. Let's talk a little Crown Jewel. DDJ, how did you like Crown Jewel?
I was very excited for the show going in because I thought the card looked really good. I mean, you had, Reigns versus Logan Paul. You had Bobby Lashley versus Brock. You had, Bianca versus Bayley. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good card, and it didn't feel like some of the earlier Saudi shows that were basically just seemed like glorified house shows.
Yeah.
Like this one, important stories coming in and everything, and it felt like an actual pay-per-view, or what now they call them premium live event and stuff. And honestly, it lived up to the hype. I'm going to say it's probably the best show they've done in Saudi since they started doing them. I mean, you had matches that had no business being as good as they were, especially with that main event with Roman and Logan Paul. And I thought the thing he did with his phone, where he took the phone and, did the video of him jumping off the turnbuckle to, put Roman through the table, was a pretty cool spot. And then when the video came out from his phone, I thought that was even cooler because you get that perspective of what it's like. And then you had the women's title match with Bianca and Bayley, which is, they're really, I don't think was a bad match on the card. I thought the Braun versus Omos match for a big man match was actually pretty good and stuff, but overall, I loved it. It's the best Saudi show they've done. Is it the best show WWE's put on all year? No. But that's still for me, it's Clash at the Castle and stuff. But I honestly very happy with the show. I thought, I definitely enjoyed it. What about you guys?
The Premier Silver Wolf. What do you got, man?
Dude, actually, I'm gonna find myself actually completely agreeing with DDJ on this one. Usually, I got some. I think the Strowman Omos match. That was a wash, man. it was what it was. It wasn't great. It wasn't awful. So, I don't, whatever. But, I thought the Bianca Bayley match was pretty good. I think there were spots there where production-wise, they got a little too close. You could tell they were kind of setting up what they were doing next, and you could kind of hear them actually talking and interacting when they were doing the golf cart thing.
Yeah, I heard some of that too.
That was something I picked up on. But, the story was good. I don't really understand why they did the whole women's tag team. Like, we give them a match, they win the belts, then we take them to Saudi, they lose the belts. Like, I don't get that. And then Bayley loses again to Bianca. It doesn't really that whole damage thing. I still think they're finding their way with that. I gotta say, what impressed me more than anything about that show was Roman Reigns selling his ass off for Logan Paul. We the ones, baby. It reminded me of, I don't know if you guys will remember this, but do you remember when Mick Foley was coming out? It was right as he was getting ready to he's getting close to the end of his run the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was still in the white shirt and the tie, and he was coming to the ring, and he was having the feud with Hunter and Stephanie.
Oh, when he transformed into Cactus Jack.
Yes, when he transferred into Cactus Jack. That match, right, could have been killed dead right there in the water if Triple H don't sell that and don't show, that to me, that's the beauty of Hunter. That Paul Levesque and those aspects always knew how to sell a show. And I remember thinking, oh my God, man, that's Cactus Jack coming to the ring. That's not Mick. That's not Mankind. That's not Dude Love. Like, that's the guy we've been waiting to see. And he knows it. And he knows he's about to go. It's going to be tough. And that's kind of how I felt. Like, Roman Reigns, for all that Logan Paul did in that match, and let me preface this by saying Logan Paul is still a douchebag. I don't really want him involved in pro wrestling. But that being said, the guy can go.
He can.
And anybody who says he can't, they don't know their ass from a manhole cover. That was a good, solid match. The kid held his own. But Roman Reigns sold his ass off for that kid. There was at least one point in that match where that entire stadium thought Paul was going to get the 3 count.
Yeah.
We all knew at home he wasn't. Like, I knew he wasn't. Like, there was never there was never a time where I went, oh shit, he's actually going to win this. But in that arena, in that stadium, there was one moment when it got to a 2 count where they were all counting 1, 2, and he kicked out, and the whole place was like, ah. So Reigns sold his ass off for that match. I was really, really impressed with that because Roman could have made him look like a clown.
Yep.
If he wanted to. It's
Roman.
Roman. Yeah. Well, I was really still, like I said, every time I watch that show, I feel a little dirty. I do, because I don't the politics of it and where it's being held and the money involved and the humanitarian issues and all that. But it was a good show. I can't take it away from him. It was a good, solid show. I'll give it to him.
They went out there and did their job. They performed very well for most of the card. Yeah. I'm not as big on Omos and Braun as DDJ was. To me, I still think Omos can't find his way out of a paper bag.
Oh, I agree with you there.
And I've never been a Choo Choo fan myself, so I mean, I don't care what he does. I actually would have preferred him to have stayed with Control Your Narrative, so I could have paid the $100 to cuss him out directly into his face, because I would have. I don't give a damn.
One thing I want to add real quick, when Sean was talking about, you know, the Mankind into Cactus Jack transformation, the way Hunter sold it, it kind of made me also think about back when they had that match at Madison Square Garden, when they did that promo where it was like Dude Love had both Mankind and Cactus Jack on his little interview thing, like they did all three. And then when they announced it wasn't going to be Dude Love, but it was going to be Cactus Jack, the way Hunter sold that as well, too, was just brilliant. So it just made, Sean, you talking about the way Hunter sells, it just made me think about that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a performer or an indie performer in this business and you want to know how to sell a match, pull up some Triple H video. That's I mean, better than anybody. Like to me, to be an offensive wrestler, which is what Mick Foley was. Like if you go back to his WCW days, and even when he was in Texas, down in was it USWA or WC or World Class, whatever.
WCCA.
Like he was all offense, man. The reason why it was hard to buy him as a bad guy was because he didn't cheat. He didn't have to. He was just that good. Everything was offense. Everything he did was powerful and it was dominant. And I think when he came from to WCW as heel Cactus Jack, when the confidence was there and everything about him, like when he walked in to take on Sting, dude, like you knew this guy was legit going to kick somebody's ass. He was a tough guy. He was a little out of his mind, and he was taking those nasty, mean bumps, but he could sell his ass off, and Paul Levesque did that for him. And those matches in Madison Square Garden and that Hell in a Cell match with Triple H would not have worked at all if he sells that, you know.
Yeah. And then you talk about with Cactus Jack too, the stuff he did with Vader in WCW was just incredible.
Oh yeah, dude, everything. Well, I mean, anything that Mick Foley did was gold, bro. I don't know that he ever had a bad. I mean, when you work that hard, and this is what I was saying last week when I was talking about Darby Allin being very Mick Foley-ish. I wasn't meaning, like, obviously Darby Allin is heavily influenced by the Hardy Boys and the risks that they take and, you know, the ladder matches and the big bumps and all that stuff. But what I was trying to say is Darby Allin wrestles the same, whether he's wrestling in front of 50 people or in front of an arena full of people, whereas Mick Foley was the same way. He was taking the same bumps in Dallas at the Sportatorium for 200 to 500 people as he did at Madison Square Garden or WrestleMania or, you know, wherever it was, a bingo hall in Philadelphia or a gymnasium in New York after he'd gotten released from WCW. So that's what I was meaning by that. But I mean, like, getting back to the Crown Jewel pay-per-view, like it was a good show, bro. I thought they did real well with it.
I want to ask you guys before we move on, because I don't think we touched on the match. What do you guys think about Lashley versus Brock?
I like that Brock put him over. I mean, I don't know that the way they did it made a lot of sense for me, but it was entertaining. I mean, it was like a bar fight, man. I mean, I don't really, you know, there wasn't a lot of story there. It just like Bobby jumped him and just got the advantage and somehow choked Brock Lesnar out. I mean, okay, I guess it happens. You know, I mean, it's the first time I've ever seen Brock get choked out.
Yeah. I hate it. When I watched it live, I was like, man, this was stupid. But the more I thought about it, the finish, I actually kind of liked it because Lashley technically already was one up going into this match over Brock from the Royal Rumble when Heyman turned on Brock, you know, and cost him the title. So you kind of knew Lesnar was going to have to get his win back. But I like the fact that they basically had Lashley dominate the entire match and that basically he lost on a fluke. So that way, you know, it's going to set up for a rematch. And it's probably, I'd be guessing to say, probably going to be WrestleMania this year. I wouldn't be surprised to see the rubber match in that. So, I mean, I like that. I definitely felt like it's, you know, set up for, you know, to quote Christian Cage, one more match and stuff. So, Giovanni, what about you before we move on?
Yeah, man, I think, and I'll give my thoughts on Crown Jewel as a whole as well right now. But I think that match to start the night was it set the tone for the whole card, right?
Yeah,
Yes, sure.
which is what the opening match should do.
So what it should do, if you're phrasing and timing everything right, that first one needs to draw you in. And what's a better draw than your beast incarnate getting manhandled and squeaking out a win, which is something that's not very Brock Lesnar. That's not a Lesnar MO. I don't think I've ever seen Lesnar have to sneak out a win like that. And if so, it has been a very, very long time. I like it. Kind of gave some legitimacy to Bobby, which I think kind of diminished after he lost his championship in the Elimination Chamber without ever actually doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do like that. It is setting up this big old Haas battle. And that's the thing. Another thing I didn't like about Omos and Strowman, it didn't really feel like a Haas battle to me. It just felt like two big guys trying to slap each other. But this one felt like that main level. This is your final boss. This is that Haas. And them two, I think the next match between them at Mania is going to be great. They're setting it up to be good.
Now, what do you guys think about them having the rubber match in the fight pit?
I'd rather have it in an octagon. Don't fight pit it. Put it straight up MMA style cage.
Okay.
Kind of like a Raw Underground.
Okay. I just threw that out there.
Makes sense to me.
Right?
Yeah.
But other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed Crown Jewel, man. I think it was a very good pay-per-view outing or premium live event outing.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the ladies stole the show, which I think is great in Saudi to kind of put the ladies at the forefront. They're the ones who stole the show.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Paul, God, like Sean said, I really, as a person, I detest him, but as a wrestler, I have to give him his roses. He did well. I mean, the man
with the torn ACL, and I believe he screwed up his knee during the match too. So
he screwed up his knee.
He tore his knee up. I don't know for sure.
It's probably on the buckshot lariat. You could ask CM Punk how that goes, but his looked nicer, and he actually landed it and finished.
Yes, he did.
But I'm not gonna keep taking Punk shots. So where do we want to go next, gentlemen? Do we want to hit a little bit more WWE, or do we want to go and come back to WWE?
Sean, I
got one more thing about Crown Jewel. I got one more thing about Crown Jewel, and then Jovan, you do your thing, big dog. Did anybody else notice that when Alexa Bliss and Asuka was getting ready to go out for their match, and Bray Wyatt's logo popped on the screen?
Yep, I love that.
And she kind of did that reboot.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if that's where they're going to take her back to. Yeah, take her back to that.
I honestly loved her
character.
The Fiend.
Yeah, I almost feel like
I liked it. I liked her with the Fiend. I liked her with the Fiend. Yeah,
I almost feel like they need to do this because really, since she's been back, they really haven't done much with Alexa, and I feel like she needs something like this because honestly, she's getting kind of stale in my opinion.
And that's the sad thing. The character's stale.
Yeah, I think she kind of embraces that horror. Like she likes that kind of horror gimmick. Like we all know that she's come to the ring dressed as Freddy Krueger, and like I think she was really getting into that. And then with Bray being injured and then being released, like it kind of left her high and dry. Like she was right in the middle of a pretty heavy duty storyline, and it looked like to me like they were setting her up to take the belt back and get her back in the swing of things. And with Sasha and Charlotte gone, the one thing that's great about these two not being there is we got other women getting an opportunity to work. With Becky being injured and Charlotte being out and Sasha being out, which I think this is the first time all three of them has been out of the ring for any extended period of time since they've been brought up. That we're seeing Bianca get a real run, and we're seeing Asuka get opportunities, and Bayley's still in there doing her thing, but she's kind of, helping build Bianca and get her, farther up on the car. So, I mean, I like what's going on. We're seeing some of these other girls, and Rhea Ripley, dude's going to be back in the mix very, very soon. I mean, they're not going to keep having her.
Yeah, they actually teased
she's doing too good of work right now.
Yeah.
they actually teased that on Raw with the interaction they had backstage. And, we talk about all the women getting an opportunity. We we also had someone who made her return to the WWF and to be a factor to be the solution to the Rhea Ripley problem with the OC. And that's the HBIC Mia Yim.
Yeah, buddy. I'm happy she's back in the WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy she's back too, but I mean, like, I don't really see her, her with the OC. I don't know that makes a lot of sense to me, but I mean, I get it. And I think she's a great worker and she deserves an opportunity. I think she would have done a lot better for herself if she just stayed right where she was at in Impact and did some more. I don't know that she's ever going to get what she's looking for out of the WWE. I just don't.
Honestly, that's somebody.
But that's me. That's just my opinion. Yeah.
No, I actually agree with you on that too, and it's a shame because she's uber talented.
I don't think she was fully utilized in Impact.
No, she wasn't.
Think she would have really been better suited for Ring of Honor. I think the Women of Honor would have done very, very well for themselves to have her there with them. Because, I mean, you look at the women's ring of the Women of Honor division in the past had names that are now breaking out into the main with Willow Nightingale, with your Roxanne Perez in WWE. You kind of need those people that can bring that Women of Honor back up. And yes, they still have Mercedes Martinez, but who wouldn't want to see that boss battle between Mercedes Martinez and Mia Yim? That would have been fantastic.
Is Ring of Honor even doing shows? Like, are they still
Yeah, they actually have Final Battle
now?
coming up in about a month.
Final Battle in exactly 1 month in the beautiful state of Texas, actually within 4 minutes walking distance from yours truly. I will have to find a way to be there.
Yeah, you better go.
If I gotta sell crack.
You mentioned Mercedes Martinez. Is it me, or I could have sworn I saw her the other day on a milk carton? Like, where the hell has she been?
With the rest of the ROH talent that's not named Josh the Goods Woods. Oh, actually, I can't even say that now because Rhett Titus, Silas Young, and a few others were on Dark this week. I think they're getting the ROH talent back into shape for this relaunch in January.
Yeah, let's hope that's the case because it's just a shame because. I mean, first off, we don't have a Ring of Honor Women's Champion because Mercedes has the belt, and I don't think she's really been seen since she won the title. So,
yeah. Well, my feelings on that. We shouldn't have let Roxanne go to the WWE, but it is what it is. Gentlemen, we've been WWE heavy. Let's go ahead and just knock all their items out of the way early. Hell, we had quite a bit of news to hit on. Let's do a kind of rapid fire style from this last week in wrestling. R-Truth, of course, is hurt, injured, and while he's been out, they just retired his baby. The 24/7 title was thrown in the trash can very unceremoniously.
Actually, no, it wasn't thrown in the trash can. It missed the trash can.
Yeah, the floor.
He's gonna be a guy that knows that random ass trivia fact. Oh no, it didn't make it in the trash can. It missed.
Yeah.
Love you, buddy. Yeah. Keep it up. Right. Moving on. We also had. You're awesome. Other than that, we had the failed cash-in attempt by Austin Theory on the U.S. title. We can get into that. And
Sean, I think Sean. You know what? Sean looks like he's.
I'm chomping at the bit. I'm just chomping at the bit.
Let's let him have it. Go for it, Sean. Chomp away.
Oh my God. Okay, so I think, Bo, I actually think it's funny that you brought those up one right after the other because I think those are kind of connected. I think Triple H was just dying to get rid of the 24/7 title.
Yeah.
I think he thought it was bullshit the whole time they were doing it. That was obviously a Vince thing because nobody is that ignorant. I mean, Ron the Truth, R-Truth's going to get into the Hall of Fame with 47 title reigns. 47.
Which he should.
24.
I'm going to say, right. I've said it before.
No, he should.
Be a Hall of Famer.
He should without that 24/7 bullshit ever being a thing, but that's what he's going to be known for. So we got Mick Foley in a sock, and we got R-Truth.
R-Truth was also Ron Killing's was also the
Yeah.
first acknowledged NWA African American champion.
Yes, he was.
I actually no, and I love R-Truth. I do. I mean, the guy's been doing it for a long time. He's very, very
He looks
talented.
the same.
He doesn't
very, very
age.
entertaining.
He's
in great shape. He does not age. Matter of fact, I think this is his first big injury in his entire career. I know he's had injuries, but this is his first big one. But I think that 24/7 deal being just kind of tossed in the trash, and I think
it missed the trash.
First off,
excuse me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think that was all Triple H going, screw this, I'm done. We're getting rid of that shit. And I think they had no idea. Austin Theory was Vince's boy. He was the future, and blah blah blah, whatever the hell. And I think they had to figure out a way to end that shit. So what they do? They have him try to cash in on a mid-card title. I mean, I know the man makes the title, and Seth Rollins obviously is the top of the food chain carrying that U.S. championship. But when have you ever seen anybody cash in on a mid-card title?
I almost would have rather had him cash in. It's never happened, and but I mean, I almost would have rather had him try to cash in on the NXT
and after
title.
After listening to this kid walk through the business for the last year and a half since before WrestleMania last year, because Vince McMahon was stroking. I loved it. I loved it as much as I hate Jeff Jarrett. I loved what they did. I loved Austin Theory. Back to the bottom, bitch. Start over. I loved it. I hate his stupid phone.
I'm working on finding out who fucked with my computer.
I'm not. Shut the fuck up. I'm not. I don't really. I mean, I'm glad that we don't have to see him carrying that briefcase. I never bought him as. I'm not saying that the kid ain't talented and he don't have a future in the business. I think he does.
It's just not his time.
Nobody rubs. It's just not. Yeah, it's not his time. And like I say, like we said, we talked about this a few weeks ago. I have a problem with anybody being told you're the future.
Well, I mean,
that's just too much pressure to put on anybody.
It is, and you look at the past people to have that designation on them. The next big thing, Brock Lesnar.
Drew
McIntyre, who was supposed to be the future.
The chosen one.
And now Austin Theory, who...
That's what they called him, the chosen one.
That is what Drew was called, yeah. It's a bad, unfortunate coincidence, but that was what Drew was called back when he was what's that song, Broken Dreams, that he had?
Which was a kick-ass song, and I wish he was still using that.
It was a kick-ass song. He should have used it in Cardiff. But maybe it's a lot of responsibility.
Theme song for Shootin Sht next week, asshole.
We're still going to find out who hacked DDJ's computer. It's a shame.
I'm working on it.
We pay damn good money to have decent music, to have our shit playing when we do this entrance. And I want to first apologize to have decent music.
That douchebag will probably sue you for stealing his music.
Nobody stole shit.
Because he's the chosen one.
Calm down, Choo Choo Braun. Anyways,
every time you say that, I want to call you Ralph Wiggum.
Choo choose me. You know what though? I love the move. I love the cash in, number one, on the U.S. title, because what they've done recently with the vignettes for the Intercontinental title, while Walter's been champ, makes it feel like that title's coming back up in prestige. Having Theory shoot a shot for the U.S. title while Seth's holding it kind of makes you feel like that belt's coming back into prestige. I think Hunter is going to give us a way to have these belts mean a damn again, and it's not just the mid-card belt. And they're going to become truly those workhorse belts that they used to be. It used to be an honor to be the Intercontinental Champion. So hopefully we're getting back to that.
Well, they have to do something, because here's the problem. The reason why they had to cash in on a U.S. belt is because, number one, nobody buys that kid beating Roman. He's not cashing in on a world title. That's just not happening.
Sad, because he's a trained wrestler, and I believe that a YouTuber could beat Roman over a trained professional wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have that, and then so basically what we're seeing right now is, yes, this bloodline storyline is, I think it's the best thing they got going, and they're not going to step away from it anytime soon. But when you have that much gold draped all over 3 individuals because they have the tag belts and both world titles, that leaves the Intercontinental and the United States belt open for each show when, Roman shows up when Roman wants to show up.
Yeah.
Okay, so this just popped in my head while you were talking there with you talking about the tag titles. We got coming up when this is dropped, it'll be later tonight. We got the Usos defending against the team that actually holds the record, that they're this close to taking over against the New Day for the tag titles. I mean, do you guys think that the Usos should win this and get the record, or do you think New Day should take it and keep the record?
I believe that after Crown Jewel, the Usos look beatable. And it would not be a stretch for me to think the New Day takes those titles back.
Yeah, but I mean, the way they've really booked New Day the last few months, I mean, to me,
They're still the New Day.
Yeah, they are, but I don't like, to me, the Brawling Brutes are more of a, they're more, to me, they were more of a legit threat to the Usos than the New Day, because the New Day they really haven't been the same since Big E got hurt.
Maybe he comes back.
Well, if I'm putting my Booker hat on, this is what I would do. If we're taking the belts off the the Usos, this is where the whole Sami Zayn, Jey Uso thing blows up.
Kind of, yeah.
Can I get a 5 times real quick? Since you're putting on your Booker hat. There you go.
I can see.
All right, Javon, you got to do the spin-a-rooney now.
I do the spin-a-rooney, but my camera's not big enough.
There you go.
I can see New Day winning it based on the fact that, I mean, they're going to have to do something somewhere along the line. This Sami Zayn, Jey Uso thing is going to come to a head. And when it does, it's going to cost somebody something. I mean, or what's the point of it happening? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that, my thing is it's so like white hot right now. Like Sammy is like about as white hot as you can get. And I'm not just saying that because he's white skinned, but I mean, it's honestly.
Well, no. What I was saying is, like, it don't necessarily has to be Sammy's fault. Jay just has to think it's Sammy's fault.
Okay. I see what you're saying. But I feel like it's
Jay's fault. But if they lose the belts and he blames Sammy for it, then there's that's the.
I see what you're saying.
I don't see him losing. They're going to beat New Day this Friday, one way or another.
Because I just feel like Sammy, it's so, that angle right now is so white hot with Sammy. I just feel like you got to let it keep going. Maybe save it for a little bit as we get closer to WrestleMania, to me. So I'm the same way. I think the Usos retain and get the record, which I think they deserve, because I mean they've been the last year or so, but since they won the titles, and even before that, day one. But I mean, it's we're all down since day one ish. So, but I mean, it's honestly, they deserve the record after the work they've been putting in this last year.
Yeah. Well, it won't be very.
Are we bothering you with our? Hey, are we bothering you with our show? Are you swiping right? What are you doing down there?
I had a message come in, so I had to answer that one real quick. But
did you tell her we were almost done and she can come over later?
No, that's
we got someone coming over to take a ride on Space Mountain.
Oldest ride, longest line, baby. Anyway, no, it's not. You guys aren't being very oosy right now. I need you to be a little more oosy.
Okay, sorry.
So, getting back to the matter at hand. We've touched everything on WWE that I could think of, unless you guys, did I miss anything? I think we're good. Are we good to throw the E away for today?
I can't think of anything, so yeah.
Fantastic. For being a podcast that gets called AEW Extremist at times, that makes me very fun to hear that we've covered all the E.
Yeah.
Let's drop
into AEW Extremist.
Well, here's the thing. Oh, hold on. The reason why we cover AEW so much is because WWE just now started doing shit worth talking about.
Facts.
It's not our fault. So
Facts. Calm
next.
down, DDJ. There's no need to get riled up. I was just playing with you.
No, I know. I'm just
getting all choked. You getting all
hope I'm not
choked
getting
up
sick
over
again.
there, Tiger?
I hope that's all it is, and I ain't getting sick again.
Oh man.
Me and the wife are going to an improv show Saturday night, so in Joliet. So
if you get to yell out suggestions, I need you to do like the movie Ted and just give real inappropriate ones.
I was watching that clip earlier.
It's my favorite movie, dude.
Oh man.
Nobody fucking said Starbucks.
Oh man, I was just watching that clip earlier. Someone had posted it on Facebook, and I was laughing my butt off.
All right, let's get into Dynamite, gentlemen. Wednesday night AEW Dynamite. We got a lot of information on the next pay-per-view, which is Full Gear, in the lovely state of New Jersey, in Newark, MJF's hometown. We know he's the main event going.
Are you doing this outside or something? Because it sounds like you're driving in your car and it's like windy out.
It is windy out. It's my mobile platform. But anyway, so like I was building it up before I got interrupted. It's in Newark, MJF's hometown, going against Jon Moxley for the AEW Heavyweight Championship. That's your main, but the rest of the card is unfolding. Let's jump in, gentlemen. Where are we going, DDJ?
Let's go with probably the biggest news story to come out of that show, and that's Saraya announcing that she's cleared to wrestle. She's coming back. She's going to be wrestling Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, coming up at Full Gear. First match in, what they say, like just over 5 years or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a while, dude.
That match is going to be 5 stars.
It's going to be 47 stars and no flips.
It's going to be 48 stars. It's going to be 48 stars just to piss Braun off.
No flips, just hits, FTR style.
Yeah. Look at that. You're rocking the FTR shirt.
That's right.
I love that shirt. I got that shirt.
No. 1, 2, 3.
The 1, 2, 3 kid?
Gun show.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I saw his movie with China.
Oh, sure, bro.
Thank you.
Did they make him that big back then?
It's a reprint.
Yeah, it's a reprint from Pro Wrestling.
Oh, it's a reprint. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
See,
I wasn't a 3X in a 3X shirt when I was a teenager. I was still in just, I think, a single X at the time.
He didn't get the 3Xs until he started drinking. Then they got the 3Xs, and then it just got dirty. No.
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
You're here.
You're here. But no, like, I mean, to me, that the announcement was really cool, and I thought it was really cool how the first person she texted or reached out to when she got cleared was Sasha Banks, and she did it just because she didn't want Sasha feeling any more guilt for being the one that accidentally injured her and kind of caused this retirement. I thought that was really classy, but I thought the promo she cut was really good, and it was probably one of her better promos I've ever heard her cut.
Real quick on that, because, well, not on that part, because I genuinely don't ever think that she's been able to cut a good promo. That may have been the first. But on the whole before thing with texting Sasha, do you think that's normal? Is it commonplace said, like, if someone gets injured and they come back, do you think Sting texted Seth and was like, "Hey, Seth, don't worry about it. I'm jumping off of fucking skyscrapers"?
No, and that's why I think it was really classy for Saraya to do that. Because I don't think that happened. At least in this kind of manner. I mean, maybe at a show backstage they talk about it and work things out and stuff, and you just don't see it get published on Twitter, the dirt sheets or anything like that. But I mean. I just thought it was a nice move. I mean, just like, I'm good. I'm clear. I don't want you feeling any more guilt. I'm back.
What do you think, Sean?
No, I don't know that it's something that they usually make known or like we've heard a lot about it. Like I think I think there's been, you have one way or the other. Like I think with Steve and Owen, Owen never once reached out and said, "Hey, how are you doing?"
No.
That's one of my biggest problems, or one of the few things negative that I could come up with about Owen Hart was like I kind of felt like, dude, that was on you. You made that mistake, and that's why you got hurt. And to not reach out or not feel any kind of remorse over that or any empathy whatsoever.
That is
and
kind
I'm
of
not
weird.
saying that Owen didn't feel that way, but I mean, to me, sometimes these things kind of fall under accidentally on purpose. And I'm not saying that Owen did that, but we do know that this happens in the business. Whereas you have a guy like D'Lo Brown, who, legit injured, or at no fault of his own or no fault of Draws's, but something happened between them while a move was being executed. And Draws dropped on his head.
I think he slipped on a drink or something that someone threw in the ring or something.
And still to this day, those men, like when D'Lo talks about it, he gets emotional. And him and Draws have spoke about it numerous times, and they stay in contact. So, I mean, I think we're seeing everybody has their opinions of Paige, Soraya, whatever. I've always been a fan. I've always thought that she was a pretty gifted in-ring worker. And I think anybody who grows up in the professional wrestling business starts at 13, and you're going to have issues. I mean, come on, man. You're just going to, it's a grown up world, and people are doing grown up things like drugs, alcohol, and these kind of things. And to have these things happen to her, and then you add in the relationship with El Patron, you add in the release of, some private videos that was taken.
Yeah.
And for her to come out in that interview or in that promo and go, I was humiliated on a national stage, and I battled my addictions and I battled these things. In a way, I kind of feel like, it was a good promo, but in a way I kind of felt like that kind of got away from her. I think she got caught up in the moment and the emotion.
She worked herself
that
into a
promo
shoot.
could have been, it kind of turned into a little bit more of a shoot than it was about, like telling Britt she didn't earn it or Tony Khan gave her a spot. I don't think anybody can say that about Britt Baker.
I agree.
Indies. She has worked her ass off to get there, and she is a legit worker. You can't take that away from her. She's a shit ton better than either one of the girls that are carrying belts in that federation right now. She's better than Tony. Ooh. She's definitely better than Jage. That you can't say that she carried that for AEW. It was all built on her shoulders. You can't take that away from her. But I do believe that there's two women here who have a lot of respect for each other, who are both great in-ring workers. And I think we're going to see a hell of a story.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's a great take. I really like that. You guys ever see the movie, that Fighting with My Family movie that The Rock's company did about Paige?
Yes,
Paige?
I did. Yeah, I watched it. Yeah,
really good. Very good movie.
Very good movie. Best line of the whole movie was "Sorry, Miss" to Pete Dunne. Best part of the whole movie.
All right. So.
Moving on. That's a great build-up. Great build-up for Full Gear. Lots of emotion. Just what you want to see, because our main complaint on All Out was there was no build to the card.
Majority of the card, yeah.
Full Gear has that in spades right now. Gentlemen, let's touch on something else from that night, man, that I thoroughly enjoyed. And I know it's probably not going to be something that a lot of people are talking about, but I want to get your opinions on this, because I think it's one of the better under the radar stories in AEW right now. And that is Swerve and Our Glory. What are they going to break up? What's this tease? And they've had issues. They're going against the Acclaim that are white hot. They are red hot. These guys got scissoring over. These guys have gotten anything they've touched over. There's nothing that they can't get over.
I think that all these problems are, that have been brewing between, Swerve, who's honestly doing some really good work with this. I think he's
still some good heel work.
Yes.
Yeah. He's basically been taking what he's given and just spinning it into gold.
Doing just enough with it so you don't feel like it's over.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
But
loving it.
I feel like that these tensions are going to come to a head, but I almost feel like and this is no pun intended, I think the Acclaimed are going to get swerved, and I feel like we're going to get Keith Lee turning heel. Like, I think it's going to be revealed that he's in on it and stuff, because I honestly want to see a heel Keith Lee. Like, I want to see this Keith Lee that's just like, you know what? Like, I'm done with this, this nice guy, bullshit and stuff. And like, I want to see him just go run rampant on people.
It's a scary thing, man. A Mark Henry style Keith Lee Hall of Pain 2.0.
Yeah, I don't.
Basically, yeah.
As talented as he is, he's one of my favorite big men in the business. I don't think there's anything that guy can't do, except go heel. All the stuff I've seen him do, and we're going Ring of Honor all the way across the board to everywhere he's worked. I don't know that he can pull off heel. I just don't. I mean, Swerve in Their Glory was basically a heel faction, or a heel team, and you just never felt like that with him. You just don't. The guy's just too damn good, too damn talented, and too damn big. He doesn't need to cheat, so he doesn't. And one of the big things, how are you going to be a heel and not cheat?
Yeah,
that's the whole point. It's winning at any cost, and that's just not who he is. And I'm going to put my Booker hat on again, because I've been thinking about this a lot. I think this is going to go a little bit more towards Keith Lee and Swerve kind of having their deal and having their story, and they're going to end up breaking up and going their separate ways. But I do see a feud starting with the Acclaimed and FTR, and I hope they book it right. I really do, because you have FTR, who I don't think anybody can argue that this is probably the best tag team in the business, right up there. I mean, if you're going Usos and FTR, you can't take it away from FTR. They're Arn and Tully reincarnated. Except they're faster, stronger, quicker, better,
more versatile
in every possible way.
Shit.
And they're
Make
legit
that
tough
a
guys.
freaking fantasy booking, man. Brainbusters versus FTR. Fucking hell.
Dude, that would be so great. Yeah, that would be great. But then you have the Acclaimed, who we all love. They're up and coming, and I actually got to explain scissoring to Gabby last night because she was watching the show with me.
How'd that go?
And I love the Acclaimed, dude. I love
How'd
that.
that go?
I didn't show her. I explained it. She knows, dude.
Yeah, Javon. He didn't show her.
I didn't show her. I explained it to her. It was 2 out of 3 falls. Shut up. So I think I love what they're doing, and they're not red hot, man. They're white hot. Like, they're selling.
Yeah,
you look at the stands. They're fitting black t-shirts. They got the foam fingers. Those boys are making more money than ever.
Scissors.
Yeah, they got people with scissors, cardboard scissors, regular scissors. I mean, these boys are making more money than they probably ever thought they were going to make. I think if you book this between FTR and Acclaimed, and right now they're both kind of on the same level, and they're both good guys. I feel like you kind of got to book this in a way where FTR comes out and says, "Hey, we're going to put up the AAA belts. You put up AEW
Like the winner
belts,
takes all."
And then they have a 2-on-2 straight match, clean finish. The Acclaimed wins.
Oof.
FTR's got to lose something to get them back over there to where they're starting to take cheap shots and take corners and do all that. And that's how you build this up. You get these two to the point where there's respect. They respect each other. They have these. I mean, and we both know how FTR and the Acclaimed work. Those guys can have the kind of match that it'll be 12 to 13 near falls, and everybody will be hanging on that 3 count, and it'll be great for them to do that. And I think it'll be a great feud for both of them. But I feel like ultimately FTR has got to go over at some point, and and then the Acclaimed starts the chase, getting the titles back. I think it'll be really awesome.
So they're so white hot, like I said. I believe a shirt that I don't think 5 years ago we would have ever thought would happen. Scissor Me Daddy, as I believe is the top selling shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees right now for the year. But I want that
It's
shirt.
the new suck it,
How
dude.
the hell am I gonna wear that shirt? Like, what if Matthew, my son, comes up to me and is like, "What does that mean?"
You whip your hands out like a pair of scissors and tell him, "Scissor me."
Well, first off, you don't wear it
Oh,
in
I
front
got
of
a
your
picture
kid.
of that scissoring.
You don't explain it. You just do it with them and just call it a day, man. Just
Yeah.
fucking Then we have to explain
And then
to
tell
them
him
if you
don't do it
explain
at
it to him.
school.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just
Exactly. Because you don't
tell
want
him you
them to
can't do it at
explain.
school.
Okay, so I got a
That-
quick question for you guys. Has Scissor Me Daddy S become the new Suck It?
Yes.
I just said that. Yeah,
You
I
just said
literally 30
My
seconds ago
apologies.
said.
My apologies. I
No,
missed
that's
that. My
okay. That's okay. You were talking when I said it. Yeah, I don't.
So,
Yeah, I did. I literally just said Scissor Me is the new suck it.
Yes.
so that's what's going to get the
I mean,
kids
dude,
to
it was in the
spend
world. Like they were doing it in the dugout in the World Series.
Yes.
Dude, we were doing it in our
The
suite.
Philly got there was Phillies player. Yeah, there were Phillies, and I think it happened in an NBA game the other night. They were running down the court after a dunk, and two players. Yeah, dude, it's definitely the new suck it for sure.
There was a 4-way scissor fest in the suite.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was, yeah.
For sure.
But that's going to be the new thing that's going to get the kids to spend it in schools now.
Oh, for sure.
Just walking around. Yeah.
Like
sure.
if this is gonna sound really bad, but if my kid came home one day from school and be like, "Daddy, I got sent to the principal's office," and he's like, and I'm like, "What'd you do?" And he's like, I asked my teacher to scissor me. I'd be like, "That's my boy."
You'd be so proud. I'm so proud.
I would. My Crystal probably wouldn't be, but
Oh no, Crystal kicked both your asses. That's
she
Yeah.
probably would.
It would be a bad day in the house of.
Oh, so
Disney.
speaking, hey, before we
It'd
continue
be
on
a bad
AEW,
day.
I've got some breaking news here, guys. I
Uh-oh.
figured out.
Uh-oh.
I nailed it down. I figured out who fucked with my computer, and I got a little video to play.
It's me, Austin! Oh, son of a bitch! What? It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin! Damn, I cannot believe
That son of a bitch.
Now you're gonna get sued by him.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
You're stealing. You're stealing their. You're gonna get sued by them now. Or you're stealing their content, dude.
If I'm
What do you
going down,
mean?
I'm going down in a blaze of glory.
That's me doing the Vince voice, man. I know you missed it. I haven't
That
done
was
the Vince
you?
voice in a while.
Oh
That
my
was
god,
me.
that was
Yeah, I
bad.
haven't heard you do the Vince voice. Yeah.
Break it out, Jovan, for old time's sake, for Sean.
See here, Sean. That was me the whole time. It wasn't DENNIS. It was me, Vince McMahon.
I'm telling you, it's the exact same thing, man.
Man,
It sounds just like it.
was
Yeah.
it's like Vince McMahon just stopped by the show.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Obviously.
You want to hear my Jeff Jarrett? No.
God no.
I do.
I don't have one, actually. I'm just joking around on that.
I don't want to hear your Shaq, but
That's rude. AEW 2 out of 3 falls match.
Nice segue.
One of the best
I hate you, bro.
main events that we've had on Dynamite in a while. 2 out of 3 falls. Sammy Guevara, the Panda / JAS guy. He's like between gimmicks right now. I'm kind of weirded by it. And the only thing I know for sure is he's still just kissing up Tate Conti. Anyway, or Tate Mello. Sorry.
do I detect a hint of jealousy there?
Hell no, I ain't jealous. She's with Sammy. That's dead to me. Dead to me. I've taken. You know what?
Right.
This is the first official taken off the list. Mr. Conti is taken off the list, henceforth making Tay Mello off the list.
Okay.
Wow.
First one ever, gentlemen. First one ever off.
And
the
it only
list.
took us 60 episodes to get to it.
It only took 60. But the match was good. Bryan Danielson. It's a freaking mastermind when it comes to telling a story, unless he was legitimately hurt and finished it concussed, which could be. But it looked like he was out of it for the majority of this match. Once again, could be great storytelling, could be just real life.
Well, I don't think it was necessarily that he was out of it. I just think it was more or less, and this is why I love commentary, and this is why I miss, like, you know, when I go to a live show. I mean, live shows are awesome, but you miss that commentary that kind of gives you the backstory and what's going on, and kind of helps people understand things that they may not necessarily understand, you know, if there's not someone providing a soundtrack to that. Because they kept referencing, I guess he had an injury years ago with like a detached retina, and they kept referring to that. And I think that's kind of where they were going with it and stuff. I don't necessarily.
Yeah, man, comebacks are king. Everybody knows that.
Right.
Anytime you can bring.
But no, that match was awesome.
Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I love how and the great thing about doing best 2 out of 3 falls is you always got to find a way to make get one cheap one.
Yeah.
To make it different, and to have him, you know, basically he's getting his ass kicked the first part of that match, and then, you know, gets DQ'd because he throws the chair shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, that's really when the match starts. And Brian can just do anything, man. I don't know that there's a better performer on the planet. I mean, I know everybody's still, you know, they're still hyped on Kenny Omega and what he was doing. But I mean, Kenny had that run, that hot streak run where he was collecting belts and doing all that great stuff. But I mean, Brian is just.
We haven't seen Omega in a couple of months, so I'll let that.
Yeah, dude, he ain't he ain't gonna be on Mount Rushmore. He's gonna have his own mountain.
I feel
you know
like
what I'm saying. Like Brian, he's just
you've forgotten what Omega is, and that's okay. I don't fault you for that. He hasn't been around in a while. It's okay. I understand.
No, dude. No, I love Kenny. I love watching Kenny. Kenny can tell a story. I love watching him. I mean, I'm not a real big fan of his goofy. You know, the goofy heel stuff he does, but I mean, inside the ring, I think he's a pretty phenomenal performer. I mean,
he is the best wrestler to ever go through North Carolina. Yeah.
I mean, he's great, but I mean, just like you can't. Brian he's another level, bro. He's just another level. Like guys like Brian is the reason why we believe.
This is true.
Yeah. And also too, you mentioned Kenny. I mean, the rumor is that, you know, Kenny and the Bucks are coming back at Full Gear to possibly reclaim the titles that they technically never lost. You know,
none of that was their fault, man.
If that's the case, and we get the Elite versus the you know, Death Triangle, that is going to be a banger at Full Gear.
Yeah, I agree.
This is gonna be an unpopular opinion. So,
oh god,
I know I'm going to catch shit for this. I don't miss him a bit. I don't miss.
You know,
him
you're not alone.
You're
not alone. I mean, I'm not saying with us.
I don't miss him a bit.
General,
and I tell you something else. I think this whole thing with Punk and what happened backstage got completely blown out of proportion. There have been we all know that there have been backstage fights. Eddie and Kurt Angle. Big Show and what's the other? And Booker T and Batista. Everybody's there. There's been I don't know how many backstage fights.
Brock and Jericho.
Why the hell has this been? It's almost like somebody was just like, all right, we got to get rid of Punk, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna fire everybody and then bring back the 3 guys that went in the locker room looking to start shit. Yes, he said what he said, and I don't agree with him doing. I don't agree with what he did.
You can't bury the company.
Yeah,
I can't. I'm not. He's not burying the company. He's burying performers in the company who were supposed to be EVPs and acting as such, and they weren't. I'm not saying that what he did or said was right. I completely think that's bullshit, and he should have been suspended for that. Like, I agree with that. He shouldn't have done it. It was unprofessional. You don't bury your own company, especially when you're the one carrying the strap. So I agree with you. He should not have done that. But to sit there, he's the one that's getting fired and not being brought back. those three guys are the ones that walked in that locker room looking to start shit.
I think there's more to it though, because I mean,
well, that might be the case,
is,
but we don't know that. And those guys are all coming back, and Steel and Punk are gone.
Nobody's crying that Punk is gone. AEW wise in the backstage, it's something that you hear everybody is saying that they didn't want him back.
Well, Chris Jericho went up to him and called him a cancer.
Yeah, and he's not the only one. You have people, you know, and I think, God bless him. I think Eddie Kingston, it's real to him. Damn it! So he doesn't know when to stop the line between what's real and what's not real. But I think Kingston may have hit it on the head with his promo when he was going against Punk. And he told him, you know, I'm the only one that's not afraid to tell you this. Nobody likes you here. Nobody wants you here. You don't belong here. And I think he was telling the truth, because when this all happened, everybody turned on Punk. And they were like, look, we don't want to come back to this if he's still here.
Yeah, that's... You know, and the thing is we'll never know what happened. We'll always hear, you know, Punk's side of the story. We'll always hear the Elite side of the story.
Well, that's just it. We haven't heard Punk's side of the story.
But we're going to hear it eventually.
He'll do another podcast with somebody not named Boom Boom Cabana, and then he'll turn on them too, the way he did on Colt Cabana. But I just want to know did somebody bite the dog? Did nobody bite the dog? Did someone get a thumb up the dog's ass? What happened to the dog is all I care about.
I don't even know the
only thing I'm going to say about this, and then, you know, we kind of start, you know, getting back to AEW and that is if something happened, why did it take so long for that to come out?
Yeah.
I mean, like, if something happened, it's absolutely unforgivable and stuff, because, I mean, none of us, I think, are, you know, would tolerate something like that if the dog was injured. But I mean, my thing is if that were me and that were my dog, that would have been out like first thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't have stayed quiet.
My dog wouldn't have been there to begin with. Yeah.
Yeah, that too. But you know, it's not our place, you know.
That's his child. And if my child was harmed, I would have made a big ass deal about it.
Oh, absolutely.
And it would have been more than just Ace still biting somebody. I would have fucking really did some damage. So that's why I don't believe some of that.
Let's kind of get off base. We've spent enough time talking about that.
I wanted to talk about it, Dennis. I wanted to get it out there for the world.
What you talking about, Jovan?
You know what I'm talking about? Just Full Gear hype, man. I mean, I'm going into Full Gear. We're about 2 weeks away, give or take 9 days.
Week from Saturday.
And I am actually very, very, very excited about the card. The card has a lot of great build. It's got a lot of good matches so far pinned to it. And I think we're going to be in for a really good night of wrestling, which AEW, prior to All Out, was accustomed to giving us at our pay-per-view events. So I am thoroughly excited. I hope that we can continue this with the storylines that are going places. Some of them aren't as strong as the others, you know. I think Samoa Joe turning on Wardlow could be a cool little spin. But I think we're headed back in the right way. Yeah, it's going to be a banger. But I think, you know, we've been shitting on some AEW decisions lately.
The only thing I wish, though, with this whole Samoa Joe heel turn is I wish they would have waited for him to do it until Wardlow and Hobbs had their match, because I almost feel like that Joe turning is kind of pushing Hobbs, you know, out of the picture, like, or lessening his impact. Like, I feel like they should have done the Hot Powerhouse Hobbs Wardlow match, maybe at Full Gear, and then Samoa Joe would do the turn there, and then they do the thing. I just think this kind of, you know, overshadows Hobbs and his, you know, run at the TNT title, which, again, I don't think any of us would have thought that, you know, he was going to be the one that dethroned Wardlow and that. But I just feel like that's the only issue I took with that heel turn.
All right. Sean, what you got up there?
I think it's just it's typical AEW writing. It's just there's no rhyme or reason for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Tony did a bump and went, all right, you're gonna hit him with the belt and we're gonna have you guys fight. That was it. I think that was about all the thought that was put into that. I mean, we seen kind of like they were laying the groundwork last week, and this week he's already turned on him. So in the matter of 2 shows, they went from the hottest, one of the hot tag teams and hot, they were getting big pops. They were coming out and having good matches. And now, because he said, I'm going to get all the belts in AEW, which Joe's carrying a Ring of Honor belt. It ain't got shit to do with AEW. So what are you pissed off about? You ain't coming after your belt. So I don't, but do I want to see the match? Hell yeah. Joe versus Wardlow. I think Joe's going to, he's going to wear Wardlow out. And of course, we're going to see if Wardlow can actually get that big man up and throw him in. That's a big man to be powerbombing.
Symphony.
It's a lot of man.
I think it's going to be a good fight. And, we all know Joe's legit. Wardlow's been wrestling squash matches for about what, 6 months? So let's see what happens. But like I say, it's just that typical chaotic, helter-skelter, fly by the seat of their pants booking that they're doing in AEW right now, which is why, we're getting this. The pay-per-views are always solid cards and the matches are normally good, but it's not the matches that are the problem. It's the storylines that get to them. We're starting here and we're ending here.
Right.
Yeah. It's like microwave booking. We're going to do it as fast as we can so we can eat. That's it.
Well, gentlemen, we've gone a little over an hour tonight. Let's go ahead and shoot straight to final thoughts. Who wants to start?
Sean, didn't you have something, or did we? I know you said talked about.
No, buddy. No. You go ahead. You go first tonight.
So, all right.
Wow.
So, first off, I want to say, Sean, thanks for being a good sport. I love you.
Start kissing my ass now, dude. No, don't do that.
It's like with
fucking nice to me. You don't get to.
You know what?
You don't get to
I'm not. You know what?
The entire week, and then start telling me how nice a guy I am. You fucking asshole.
I wasn't going to tell you how nice of a guy you are. I was just going to apologize, man, if anything I said or did, upset
now you're just lying your ass off. You're not sorry, motherfucker. You're ready to hit the button one more time before we go. Don't even sit there and act like you're not playing.
You know what? And you know what? And Jovan sees the same screen I did. Jovan, look at the screen with the videos. Did I not delete the video, the Jeff Jarrett video?
It is gone.
You're a lion. You are a lying motherfucker. I don't believe you for a second.
You don't believe either one of us.
You have been sending me. You want me to show you the text stream I've been dealing with for the last fucking week? You asshole. Do your thing. Just do your shit. Do your thought. Just do it.
He's so mad. I feel like we owe him a Jeff Jarrett, and since the video was gone, I do still have this though. Bam. There you go.
Oh,
I still don't understand why is this motherfucker dressed like the Undertaker 2 weeks in a row. I don't get that.
It's his last ride, brother. I mean, what do you want from him?
The last outlaw.
He's the last outlaw.
Oh my fucking god!
But nah, man.
I hope it is his last ride.
I mean, he's got nowhere else to go. There's no other federations popping up.
So I just want to say, for my final thought, I really, and you can believe me or not, Sean. I don't really care at this point in time, but we do appreciate you coming in and helping us out with this because the last couple of weeks, Joey K's been out of it, and I know he's got things going on. It's just a case of life getting in the way and stuff. And
sure,
we all love Joey K here. He's a valuable member of this team, but we appreciate having someone that we can count on to fill in for any one of us now. Like if we're out and the show will not miss a beat. Like I know when back in earlier this year when my mom passed away and I had my knee surgery and Joey K was going through some stuff, Jovan had to carry the show, and the show kind of went in a little bit of a different direction because it didn't have the same vibe that the show has with,
well, I mean, fuck me. A one-man show wasn't as good as a three.
No. I'm not saying it was.
It was a bit of a different show. It was just
God
Javon
damn it,
talking
can
to
I get
himself
through
on
my
the
final
wall.
thought without someone interrupting me?
Have you not seen the show? No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But no, in all seriousness, though, it was a different show. Like it did, But I mean, it's nice to have that someone that can come and step in and be the pinch hitter, and the show kind of run on the same beat. It doesn't miss a beat. It's that same vibe that everybody seems to really like. And I feel like we're starting to gain some traction. So I just want to say thank you for kind of being our unofficial fourth guy, and I love you, man.
I love you too, buddy. I do too. I enjoy being here. It's a lot of fun. I love stepping in. It's just, it's a natural fit. It feels good to be able to do this every week with you guys. And whenever you need me, I'm always going to be here. And, honestly, dude, I've laughed so much in the last 6 days because unlike some people in my life, at least your shit's funny, DDJ. So, it does.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Don't get too excited. It still pisses me off, and I still hate your guys every time you do it. But at least it's funny. At least it's funny. And the tough thing is now that this is going on. Like I even made a post on Facebook, and now I'm finding there's more Jeff Jarrett fans out there. Like we found out Ty is a huge Jeff Jarrett fan, which makes me dislike him even more now. So it's so awesome that I didn't really get that close to him because now I don't. I told him next time I seen him, I was going to break him in half. So, and I hope it's during a meet and greet when he's talking to one of them pretty girls that he likes talking to. I'm just going to walk up and thump his ass. I swear to God.
You going to pull a Tanya Harding on him?
Dude, I'm going to drop him like a bad habit. It's going to be, it's going to be bad. But no, dude, seriously, I've enjoyed it and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure to be here with you guys every week.
Man, you're like calling out Ty. You got an impending 3-way gun showdown with Joey K and and Jerry and stuff. Man, you're gonna.
I am not doing any kind of 3-way with Joey K and Jerry. There's no. Let's rephrase that. That's not happening.
There's a lot of scissoring going on there.
No. Damn it.
Hey, Jovan. All right.
Multi-state 3-way right there.
We crossed state lines.
Buddy.
My goodness.
Oh, was that everything for Sean? I feel like Sean, was that it? Are you good? That was your final thought?
No, dude. I was just saying thank you. That was his thought. Why
my
you rushing
apologies,
me, dude?
I'm so sorry.
See, I knew that wasn't it. Go ahead, Sean.
We're so glad you're here. Are you done? Shut the fuck up. It's my turn. Is that how it works now?
Hey, New Japan TV title tournament finals. It's me and you, Sean.
Hey, dude. Yeah. When is the final?
Wrestle Kingdom. Ren Narita, who I pick. I pick Ren Narita against your pick, Zack Sabre Jr.
Well, either way, one of us is walking away with an ugly fucking belt. That's ridiculous.
It's a very sad day that both me and the baby mama took losses in that day, but that's all right. As long as she lost, I won inside.
There you go, bro.
That one, yeah. Yeah, look at that. Don't you want to wake up next to that? No, which is why she's the ex. It was rough,
scary,
man.
Brother.
All right, Sean. Final thoughts,
was scary.
buddy.
Yeah. Dude, I think it's been a pretty good week this last week. Last week I was a little irritated with the way everything was going as far as how AEW went and everything. I feel like this week they kind of bounced back. I mean, the storytelling, it still needs work and everything, but I kind of feel like I'm really happy with what's going on. We're getting a lot of good content, a lot of good matches, and things seem to be going up. I would like to bring up, and we haven't talked about this yet, but did you guys, anybody here besides me, hear about MJF being cast in the Iron Claw?
Yes.
So we know now what MJF has been. He's been, playing Lance Von Erich, and I think that's really cool that he's going to be a part of that movie, and he's getting the opportunity to do that. I'm really, really excited about this biopic that's going to be coming out.
Oh, I thought of you when I heard about it.
Oh,
I mean, there's just no, dude. I was, like I said, I lived there. I lived in Dallas back in was 82, 83. I think that's right. It's been a long time ago, but I just like, dude, it was hysteria down there when those guys. They were bigger than the Cowboys at that time. Like,
Yeah,
they were
were the
bigger than the
Beatles, man.
Cowboys. They were the ones, man. And to see these guys, I mean, as tragic as the story is, and everything, just so much great stuff that came out of that. And I think when we go back and we actually take a look at it, history is going to show that the Von Erichs Freebirds was probably one of the greatest feuds that ever happened in the history of the business. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely the biggest factions, as far as like the Von Erich family and the Freebirds being like the first groups.
There's people who don't even know who the Freebirds are, but they've heard of the Freebird rule.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing too, that this stuff's going to start coming out, which is going to give Michael Hayes and some of these guys. Gordy and Buddy Roberts are both gone, right? So you just got Jimmy Jam.
So yes,
and
you got Jimmy Garvin still alive, and you got Michael, and I don't know who all else is still down there, but I mean, dude, I am so excited about this movie that's going to be coming out, and I know it's not coming out till next year, but I'm really, really excited to see this and see what happens with it, as well as we got another Ric Flair documentary coming out that's going to be coming out on Peacock, and the Teddy Hart documentary that's coming out too. Plus, we're getting Tales from the Territories. This last week was the Polynesian professional wrestling and the story of the island there. Man, I mean, just. We are getting inundated with the history of professional wrestling, and I wish more people who keep wanting to call this stuff fake or that it's not a sport would take the time to grab this information and just devour it like we do, so they'd get a little bit of an understanding and a little bit of respect for the history of this sport, and maybe just give it a chance.
Yes.
Well said.
I loved it. That was beautiful.
Well, I do what I can do.
All right. Final thoughts, so we can go ahead and send them home. Let's see. I had a real good final thought, but my final thought has changed throughout the course of our show, gentlemen, which normally happens. I start out with one view, and by the end of the night, I feel like it's important to share another view. So I'm going to end out with this. Yes, we have been hypercritical lately about AEW's booking and storytelling. Yes, it is very well warranted, because a lot of the stuff does feel like it's just thrown together and there's not a lot of story. And bless the performers that are actually putting on great matches that makes us want to see the match, even though there's no reason for the match. We're still wanting to see it because we know what the guys in the ring can do. But, and I'm sorry to Sean, but I think what's being underlooked here is the possible storyline that could be a potential big money thing for AEW. And it starts with Jeff Jarrett. And as much as it pains me, please understand, as much as it pains me, we have been wanting an invasion angle since WWE fucked it up with WCW so bad. We've been wanting a good invasion angle. And damn it if Jeff Jarrett, Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, Samoa Joe, these guys who scream out TNA Impact, are not on the same programming. And if we get this TNA Originals invasion of AEW, I'm here for it. There's plenty of ways that they can make this invasion angle work. They had a working relationship with Impact. There's no reason they can't knock on that door again and make this something great. But I think that's a long-term story that's worth looking out for, is the Jeff Jarrett mix in an invasion angle.
All right.
But that's all I got. You guys know I love doing this with y'all every week. Joey K, we miss you, Bubba. We'll see you soon. Till then, I'm not gonna say it's not been nice having Sean up there. He's a hell of a fill-in. Definitely feel good giving him the keys to the car when we're not here. So
I appreciate it, man. I
definitely,
promise I'll run the wheels off that son of a bitch too, given the opportunity.
it's what you need to do, man. Drive it like you stole that son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the shooting shit way. But we've all got final thoughts out the way. We've been about an hour and a half almost. So we're going to go ahead and say thank you to the ladies in accounting, to the jobbers out there in catering, to the Johners Podcasting Network that proudly presents this show every week, most of the time proudly, and to you, the shooters, for listening, just like Sean, who ended up being a damn good backup for us. So keep listening. Maybe we'll do another takeover listener spot, have somebody else on. And I think we still have a guy named Jerry out there that we need to wrap up a storyline with on Shootin' Shit. So that might happen. But the guns.
Oh,
The guns.
well, we're not talking about Austin and Colton Gunn.
No ass boys here. Just scissoring. Gentlemen, take us home.
Do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Follow the show on Twitter at SHOOTINSHT, and thanks for listening.